Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. This is going to be a Cardano ADA update. The date is the 2nd of the 2nd, 2023, and I'm currently still away. Some of you may notice a unfamiliar background, but there's just so much happening with not only Cardano itself, and we're going to talk about the upgrade that is set to take place on the 14th of February, but its ecosystem. We've spoken about the launch of the likes of Djed and what it's essentially going to bring to Cardano in the form of, bolstering its ecosystem, its Defi TVL. We have indeed seen that. We've got the likes of Liquid launching. We've also got other stable coins like what Anzen are doing. Really looking forward to and hopefully going to be getting Anzen onto the show in the next sort of week or so when I get back. So that's something I'm really looking forward to doing. Of course, we've covered things previously. We had Niels, who goes by Imperta Lang, came on the show to talk to us about how he's looking to allow developers to use Python to build on top of Cardano. You know, this is a huge thing for me. There's just so much taking place. I kind of couldn't help but make a video regardless of being away. So we are going to keep this short and sweet. We will talk about the price. The fundamental videos that I do for Cardano seem to get a lot less love than when I talk about the price. And you guys will know, as a community, I run a Patreon. We looked at the cryptocurrency market, having been out of it for the majority of last year, and decided to dip our toes back in around the 5th of January following a conversation that we had where we kind of hashed things out as a group, and I put forward and others put forward their pros and cons, and we kind of decided to take the plunge. And thus far, it's been a very good month for us. It's been a very profitable month. But is it now Cardano to the moon? And I think this kind of mentality has came back around. So we looked at a Bitcoin and crypto just before we get onto the upgrade that's going to take place. And we decided it wouldn't be a bad idea to reinvest in certain projects that we believe in over a long-term time period. To become an investor again in this space, having sort of mitigated a lot of the damage that took place. But I don't believe it's going to be plain sailing from here, guys, in terms of it's just going to be a repeat of March 2020 Printathon onwards. I think it's going to be a lot more of a slower, drawn-out battle, and people need to be mindful of that. But where Cardano is currently at is a very good position. I will drop down the timeframes and give people a little bit of a word of warning because you are coming into some pretty significant resistance. The 1 hourly is probably a little bit too small. There's some pros and cons with the sort of structure that Cardano is currently forming. You know, you are in what you could definitely term a rising wedge. We'll go down or up the time frames a little bit to get a little bit more space. And you're forming this rising wedge at potentially what is going to be a pretty significant area. So maybe you set up some sort of a head and shoulders, a reverse head and shoulders, and you see that continuation. But there is going to be a pullback, whether it goes on a little bit higher and then has a deeper correction to somewhere like here, before you look for that continuation. Many people are still sidelined and sort of sat out. I do think that you want to be a little bit wary about FOMOing in here. Just because it's in what could be deemed a sort of rising wedge doesn't mean rising wedges don't always have to typically play out to the downside. There are cases when they will play to the upside. And it's largely going to depend on the crypto space as a whole. There's been a lot of really hyped up news like Djed, Liquid and stuff like this. So I'm very curious to find out what's going to happen once those things have been released. Do we get a bit of a buy the rumor, sell the news sort of thing? But we are invested back in Cardano. I can definitely confirm that. And again, that was following a conversation that took place around about here. So we're very comfortable in regards to our positions right now. But it's for people that feel like they've missed out, Cardano has still got a hell of a long way to go. You know, if Cardano becomes what I think it's going to be and play as big a role in blockchain and the crypto space, I think it will. You know, you've not seen anything, even at its all-time highs back in sort of at the end of 2021, November 2021. It was more like September around the Alonso hard fork. I still think that's actually largely not where it's not reached its potential yet. You've got to remember blockchain is still a very unused technology that's still yet to really shake the world up as a technological revolution. On that note, let's move on. You also do have a bit of a bearish div on your daily. You got this rising wedge, and you got this bearish div. So just be careful FOMOing in. For me personally, I haven't put everything that I want to back into Cardano, so I will be looking for pullbacks. Anybody who wants to find out more about that, feel free to join the Patreon. If it's not for you, you can cancel after a month, or make sure that you don't end up paying for 2 months. If it's not for you, we only want people that want to be there. That's enough of me selflessly and shamelessly self-promoting. Let's talk about the upgrade that's going to take place, because I think this has slipped through the net for many people. We know, and I certainly believe, and Charles Hoskinson and Cardano as a project are very much aligned with this interoperable future. You guys will know I'm big fans of Atom and what they're doing, and Polkadot. I'm big fans of IBC. We had Brainjar from Composable Finance to talk to us. He's building a IBC chain on Polkadot to merge these two ecosystems. We spoke about how World Mobile are doing a similar thing. They're building a blockchain on Tendermint, which is Atom's kind of stack, to facilitate what they're trying to do as a project, but there'll also be an underlying interoperability protocol called IBC that will potentially link these two ecosystems. Cardano, however, are coming up with their own ways to facilitate cross-chain dApps and interoperability. And they're doing this through actual underlying chain upgrades. Now, one reason I'm so bullish on Cardano is because I think it's a very eloquent and beautiful blockchain in comparison with many of the others. You know, when I've spoken to computer scientists or programmers or any of the sort, technically minded people, they've all agreed on one thing, and that's that Cardano is a very beautifully designed blockchain. The argument really is it practical? And thus far, whether it's a 50+% node attack or not attack outage, or whatever it is, it's proven to be a fantastic blockchain, and it's proven actually where many others would have fallen, that it's very much built for the job and is a great blockchain. It's why we've always been a champion of it. We know that just like with anything that's hype, just like at the start of the video I mentioned, if I talk about price, I get a lot more views than if I talk about fundamentals, although I really want to do both. I'm a blockchain enthusiast as well as a trader and investor. And hopefully you guys are with me on that. But you're essentially going to have this upgrade taking place on the 14th of February, a hard fork of such. And most people and as a stake pool, I of course know about this, we've had to upgrade our node, our sort of relays and block producers. But I want to talk a little bit about what this is going to mean, because I think people are largely missing it. So we'll just spend a little bit of time before I wrap this video up. And then I will, of course, love and leave you. But we have seen a real increase with Djed. This is Djed launched. We added literally over 25, nearly 30% to our total value lock just on that alone. And I think this is going to continue to grow. And since the start of the year, Cardano's DeFi space has nearly doubled. Its smart contracts are up 50% from December. It's going in the right direction across all metrics. But let's talk about this new upgrade taking place. So a new Cardano cryptographic primitive will bring greater interoperability and secure cross-chain dApp development. To make it easier for developers to build cross-chain applications, Input-Output Global is adding new built-in functions to Plutus to support ECDSA and Schnorr signatures. Cryptography ensures trust and security in blockchain settings, and different blockchains use different cryptographic signature methods. It talks about elliptic curve digital signature algorithm and Schnorr signature are two popular signature schemes used in blockchain platforms, Bitcoin and Ethereum, among other cryptographic systems. Originally purposed as an alternative to ECDSA, are also used in several blockchain networks such as Polkadot. So it's talking about what's the task that's been or the task that they're trying to achieve is, and why it's a problem. It talks about new cryptographic primitives on Cardano. The variance in algorithms means that Plutus dApp developers who want to work with other blockchains and need to validate ECDSA and Schnorr signatures would have to spend time, effort, and funds to implement such algorithms over the standards for efficient cryptography. elliptic curve in Plutus. This considerable increases potential security risks and may use an unrealistic amount of resources. Since only Cardano's primary signature algorithm is provided as a Plutus built-in function, ECDSA and Schnorr operations should be more expensive and time-consuming unless also provided as a built-in function. To make this easier for developers to build cross-chain applications, Input-Output Global has added new built-in functions to Plutus to support ECDSA and Schnorr signatures. This allows developers to use a wider range of multi-signatures or threshold signatures designed natively in Cardano, thus providing the highest level of security. So it talks about getting ready and how we're looking for node operators, but essentially it's going to mean that instead of just having the Ed signature algorithm, there's going to, and this is the only thing that current builders on Cardano can use, there's going to be different signatures like ECDSA and Schnorr, which are used by the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum, that you'll be able to essentially have as a dApp builder, which is going to make cross-chain communication a hell of a lot easier. So this is fantastic. This is a huge upgrade. I believe this is taking place on the 14th of January. The mainnet upgrade is proposed on the 14th of January, so it could be a little bit later. And it's estimated between these blocks. You know, this is huge, and it's just another step in the right direction. We've spoken about so many different things. You know, we're going to look at Hydra in our next video and really break that down. It's my belief that actually sidechains are Cardano's solution to interoperability. And actually the way that it can scale literally horizontally. And we can do all these amazing things, and people can build, you know, if it was a business, their own custom chain, that, you know, whether it's Walmart, McDonald's, whatever it is, you know, I think cross-chain is something that's been massively underlooked. So this is IOHK's run-through of it, or input-output, sorry. The Cardano upgrade target for February will bring new built-in function to Plutus, the smart contract programming language for the Cardano blockchain, to support other cryptographic signatures to make it easier for developers to build cross-chain applications. Talks about different blockchains using different signatures, which we've just gone over. Talks about what Cardano uses. And it essentially goes on and breaks all this down. I'll leave a link to this thread and the article. It talks about the upgrade will bring in greater interoperability and secure cross-chain dApp development to Cardano, making it easier to work with other blockchains. So they're not solving the problem necessarily of interoperability and how do we bridge. What they're essentially doing is allowing people that want to build dApps to have a wider toolkit that may be compatible with other dApps on other chains or other blockchains themselves. And once that bridge has been met, you know, it's kind of like Niels looking to implement a Pythonic language, Epson, but still using the underlying Haskell secure, you know, underlying blockchain, but having something that you can sort of plug into it that will allow and sort of a wider range of developers in the similar way that this will allow a wider range of interoperability, if that makes sense. So that's largely what I got for you in this video, guys. You will get a pullback for Cardano. The question is it here or is it higher up? That's something that you guys are going to have to decide and make your own decision. We have bought. We will be looking to buy more. But just to be totally transparent, I am largely going to wait for a pullback for that. You know, very happy with what we bought when we bought. But we will look to increase that allocation. So I'll leave a link to both DeFi Llama for Cardano. Of course, this thread by Input Output for anybody wanting to find a bit more, and anybody who wants to read this article on their own, talking about the hard fork coming on the 14th. You're welcome to do so. On that note, guys, I'm going to love and leave you. If you've enjoyed this content, like is always appreciated. So is a comment, and I'll catch you all in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching, ladies and gents.